Welcome to the New Era Podcast, a fresh space where we talk love, life, growth, money moves, marriages, relationships, mindset, and everything in between. Hosted by me, Courtney. This is where real talk meets wisdom, humor, conversations that help you grow through what you're going through. Whether you're navigating relationships, leveling up in life, or just need a word, you're in the right place. It is time to align, thrive, and embrace your next era. Hey, you guys, and we are back for another episode of the New Era Podcast, season two. Season two. And y'all, season two is about to wrap shortly. We have a few more episodes, but we're going to wrap shortly. So, y'all make sure that y'all plug in, listen, share this podcast with your family and friends because y'all, we get into the deets of the things. Now, as you saw that title on um turning 50, what I know now that I wish I knew at 30. Y'all, turning 50 was like, I don't know, I still have not grasped it. And I'll be 51 this month. I still have not grasped all of 50 because it's just different. It's different. And I cannot describe it. I know it doesn't mean that I'm old. I know I don't look old technically. I know I look older, but not old. It's just different. That's all I can say. It's just different, and I think I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. So today I'm getting a little bit more personal, a little bit more transparent, acknowledging turning 50 as a big milestone. If I could sit down with my 30-year-old self, I would even say 20-year-old self. Here's some of the things that I would talk about, and probably encourage myself and talk myself out of doing my life a little bit different. So when it comes to love and relationships, talking about how I once confused love with staying in situations way too long. And I don't know if I was taught that or learned that or just thought that ignorantly. But love, ugh, child. To be honest, to be real honest and transparent, I really and truly didn't know what love like in a relationship was until I met my husband, my current husband. I did not know. At 19, 20 years old when I got married, I didn't know what love was. Like a lot of us don't know. And the older we get, the more we learn about ourselves and we figure out what true love is and what love really and truly is. And it's not what I thought it was. And in fact, I didn't know what it was. But when I met my husband, I learned that I've never been in love before. Wow. And I was married for 20 years. So going back, staying in a long-term relationship does not mean that you are in love. And I say this before and I say it again. I think a lot of time people may confuse quantity versus over quality. I would rather have quality versus quantity any day. A lot of times people have bad relationships, bad marriages, bad even friendships because, oh, we've been together for 10, 15 years. We've been together so long. We might as well stay together. We've been together 40 years. We can't break up now and get a divorce. Why not? Is there a quality of a relationship, a quality of a marriage, a quality of a friendship? If it's no quality, why are you so focused on the quantity? The quantity is for who? You? For bragging rights or for other people to say, oh, we've been together for so long, 30, 40, 50 years. And but some of you stay in a separate room, some of you fighting, some of you can't get along with whoever. Why does that matter? And a lot of things people say and do now, like, uh, if I can go back in my 30s, I would change a lot. Honestly, if I can go back in my 20s, I would change a lot. Some of the lessons on boundaries and self-worth and not settling, oh my gosh, if I can change those things. Setting boundaries, not allowing people to treat me a certain way, talk to me a certain way, me not accepting bad behavior from people. In my 30s, I did not know my self-worth. Had I known it, I would have changed a lot of things. A lot. And so it would be very vital for me in my 30s to understand who I was as a person, as a woman, and to love myself and what God created me to be and not allow nobody to change it. If I talk too much, okay, that's my personality. That's who I am. If you don't like it, so be it, and not try to conform to the idea of what you think I should be. Wow. Mm. So I can say, and I've said it before, that I grew up. One of the stories I want to share as far as growth is when I transitioned from 39 to 40. I would say late 30s to 40s is really and truly when I transitioned and learned my self-worth. I didn't know it. I had no idea. And when I went on this, I would say sabbatical or this intimate relationship with God for like 2 to 3 months, man, when I came out of that, I was a changed person. And that was so pivotal. No, that was so pivotal for my life. I mean, it changed the trajectory of my whole entire life. And I'm so grateful to God to this day. And I would never forget that. That's when I learned my self-worth. That's when I learned my value. That's when I learned to appreciate myself regardless who did or did not appreciate me. And I walked away from things that did not serve me. If it wasn't positive, if it kept me bound or confused or devalued, I walked away from it. And currently, I will walk away from a freaking friendship if it does not feel valuable, or I don't feel value in that. So those are things that I had to learn my self-worth. Now, when it comes to money in the career part of my life, what I wish I did earlier with my savings, investment, and really trusting myself when it comes to business ideas. Like when in my 30s, I don't think I was in business. No, I take that back. I think I was. I think somewhere in my 30s, I started my travel business. So what I learned to really understand multiple streams of income, because I think multiple streams of income is very powerful for people to have because we all need it. Now, I know people have a job and a side hustle, but you still need multiple streams. If you want to say a job, this stream, that stream, that stream, that stream. And I'm not saying tire yourself out to do those. I'm just saying be open minded to the multiple streams. Now, I've been in the financial industry for 25 plus years. And one of my main things for many years was working with IRA, retirement accounts, individual retirement accounts. And I learned about Roth IRAs. I found out that a lot of people, especially in the Black community, we don't know about investments. We don't know about retirements. We don't know about IRAs, Roths, Simple, SEPs. We don't know about those things. And so I had the privilege of learning them and teaching others about them, how to open up a Roth IRA. And then when you turn 50 plus is when you can start taking money out, and it can be tax-free earnings. So let me just give you a more of a breakdown of it. It's so you open up a Roth IRA. Now, let me tell you the difference between a Roth and a traditional. A traditional IRA is where it is tax deferred. So just say, for instance, that you are putting money into an IRA. So you put $5,000. So you get paid $50,000 a year. So you're actually going to claim that in that, as far as tax wise, you're going to claim 45,000, because what you put 5,000 to an IRA. So you can say I'm only making 45,000. So it puts you probably in a lower tax bracket depending on what you got going on. So that money has not been taxed. So now when you get retirement age, now you got to start taking the money out when you reach 75, if they haven't changed it. Probably, I don't know what it is now, 70, 72, 73. Whenever you reach the IRS status of retirement age, you got to start taking it out. And you got to take it out every year, a minimum amount every year, built on your age, built on this IRS factor that they created, you got to start taking it out. And it's going to be now taxed. And if you don't take it out, the minimum every year, then you're going to get penalized. So I'm going too deep into that. But now with a Roth IRA, you make $50,000, you put $5,000 into a Roth IRA, you're going to pay taxes on $50,000. So with that, is not it's already been taxed. So if I want to put this in here in this Roth IRA into this CD or into this investment account, then I'm going to put it over here and it's going to collect interest. So once I turn, if I'm not mistaken, 50 years old. Now, of course, there is a retirement age for IRAs, the traditionals. Let me say that the traditional IRAs, there is a retirement because the government said, listen, I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die and you gave us our money. So pay taxes off of this money. So you got to pull it out. You got to pull it out. But with Roth, it's already taxed. So the government not concerned about that. So now you can put it over here. And if this $5,000 has earned you interest every year, you put in 5,000 every year, 5,000 every year. Now the interest you've earned 1,000 or $500, whatever you earn interest now at a certain age, when you want to take it out, it's now tax free. But you have to leave it in there like 5 years. And it's a little small stipulation, but it's really and truly not much. So these are the things that I wish I knew when I was younger and able to invest in those things. Now, I knew some of this stuff and I was learning it, in my 30s, but I wish I would have been more able to really, you know, um, do these things and invest in these things. Now, I've opened and have a Roth IRA, but I'm just saying I wish that I was more intentional with these things and learn them more. And not just put them into, like, I've been in banking, so put them into a CD really does not make you money. Back then interest you can earn, like I've seen interest go to 18%, where you can earn interest. But and then I've also seen it to where it's less than 1%. So these are the things that I wish I'd learned. I wish I knew, about investments. You can put it in a high yield savings, all those things. It really and truly would have changed my outlook. So I would have told my 30-some-year-old self to make sure that I invest. But I was so adamant about in my 30s, man, I was raising a family, trying to figure out life, trying to figure out what career I was going to do, trying to figure. I would have waited. I would have waited to have a family. I would have waited to get married. I would have waited on those things and would have built up what I wanted to do. I was in college for like almost a year, but then I got pregnant at the age of 19. So I would have waited on those things. So when you are young and you're trying to figure out life and you're building a family, man, like you raising two children now. So it's really hard for you to kind of invest and do some things that you want to do financially. So I definitely wish I would have told my younger self to wait. Life will happen. Just wait. And so and also I would have said don't be afraid to pivot and start over at a certain age. I wish I wouldn't have stayed in the financial industry, especially banking, for so long. I wish I would not have stayed for so long, especially on one job. I was there 10 years, but I had the mindset to where I stayed in the financial industry. I would actually move from job to job like every 3 years because, like, I don't like stagnation. So I definitely would move around. But on one job, I stayed there 10 years, man. I could have really and truly pivot into something else. So now when it comes to faith and mindset, man, God means everything to me. My faith means everything to me. And it has really carried me through some dark times in my life. I'm so glad for God. Like I gave my life to Christ when I was 25 years old because I really and truly was like, my marriage was jacked up. You know what I'm saying? I was, as a person, jacked up. My money was jacked up, and I was just coming to God for help. You know, um, and that's the best decision that I ever made in my entire life. And I know I could not have gotten through dark moments without him. I couldn't. I make it my business to this day to still get up and spend quality time with God. I'm not talking about going through one or two scriptures saying, Lord, thank you, Jesus, and amen. No, I'm talking about quality time. Just like some of you may spend quality time with your loved ones, your family. I mean, like playing cards, watching TV, going to the movies, going on dates, doing all these things, sitting in their presence for hours. That's what I'm talking about. I am so glad that I built my relationship with God at the age of 25 years old and have spent quality time with God each morning. I'm not saying every single day of my life because there are times when I've missed it, but I'm talking about I've made it a habit. And if I ever like miss a day or two, man, I'm gonna feel that. But I've made it a consistent habit to spend. I'm not talking about 10, 15, 20 minutes. Like I don't really do a lot of drive-bys with God. So I really and truly am intentional in sitting. So that right there has built me to the woman that I am today. And it has changed my entire life. It has being in that vein with God has taught me a lot. It's taught me self-love. And also it's taught me healing. So where a lot of people still may be dealing with their childhood issues, being in that place and space with God is really and truly helped me to overcome a lot of things. So the difference in the mindset in my 30s versus where I am in my 50s, like I trust God wholeheartedly now. You know, I really and truly because what he did for me then, I know he can do for me now. And I've seen him bring me through a lot. So now when it comes to health and lifestyle, I'm gonna say this that your body talks to you way different in your 50s, honey. It got a lot to say, Chad. And I could say for me, I am so conscious now of my intake in vitamins and supplements and collagen. You have to do all these things now. I wish I would have done all these things in my 30s, at least started them. Cause I started looking at, oh my God, look at my eyes and start look at my stomach. I started really paying attention to my body in my 30s because people used to say, girl, just wait till you get in your 30s and you're gonna blow up. Wait till you get in your 40s, child, you gonna blow up. Like people used to always tell me that because I've always been slender. And it was like they was just waiting for me to get fat. Oh my gosh. Just keep living, child. You're gonna blow up, you're gonna blow up, you're gonna blow. And I'm not gonna lie, when I turned menopausal, because that was the change for me, I did start gaining weight. It wasn't like I was just sitting back eating and people was like, oh my gosh, that's happy weight, girl. That is happy weight. I was like, child, I ain't that happy now. I'm not that happy that I'm just sitting around eating. No, it was menopause. And so it actually, when it came on me in the right places. I am grateful for that, you know. But I wish I would have, started taking my supplements back then, more into, my face and skincare and all that stuff. We young. Heck, we think we're gonna always look like this. Age, what age? Age ain't gonna catch up with me, honey. I'm still gonna be looking like this in my 50s and 60s and 70s. Not, child, not, honey. I started noticing a lot of things about my face. So these are the things that I wish I would have, focused on and had better habits of exercising. I was one that really and truly never had to exercise. Never had. My body has always been naturally slender, and I haven't really had to exercise. Not to lose weight or to, and I've had a high metabolism. But I wish I would have, like in my 30s, I started doing a little Zumba. In my 40s, when I really and truly started just exercising really for as a like to keep myself busy, you know what I'm saying, as something to do, as a hobby. And of course, when I met my husband, I fell off that hobby chair. Honey. I was just like, ooh, I got him now, honey. I ain't got to do all that stuff. But I wish I would have continued in that. Just to make sure that my body is the muscles, are moving and I'm not getting stiff and all those things. So yeah, I definitely would have told my 30 some year old self to continue to stay active. and be mobile and make sure that I prioritize wellness. It's very important, and not just wellness, like wellness also can mean a mental state. Like make sure your mental is good. Don't let things and people stress you out. Make sure your mental is good. That is so important. So now when it comes to legacy and perspective and stuff, and what matters less now is other people's opinion, the drama. None of that matters. Like I really and truly, when it comes to other people's opinion, some stuff I don't care. I don't ask people what you think about it. Now we talking about an outfit, pair of shoes, something like that, blah blah blah. Something minor, yeah. But we talking about something big. I really don't care about your opinion. Had I, and I would say this, always say this, if I cared about other people's opinion, I would ask them, hey, I feel like God is telling me get on YouTube. I feel like this, I need to start a podcast. And if it, I, yeah, most of the time I just do it. I'm not looking for your opinion. I'll probably tell you this is what I'm feeling led to do, but I'm not looking for your opinion. So your opinion really and truly doesn't matter to me. I don't even ask people for their opinion, to be honest, because I don't want to hear it. Because I don't want it to dilute what I already, feel like I'm feeling led to do. I'm gonna do. And drama, I am so drama free. Like I don't like drama. I don't like confrontation. I don't like arguments. I don't like all this stuff. Some people thrive in it, but that's not me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up in a household where everybody was throwing chairs and fighting and doing all that. No, I didn't do all that. So peace is so important to me. Having quietness is so important to me. So I value my peace today. And I don't want to be around drama. I don't want to hear about other people's issues. Do not call me and say, girl, you heard. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you talking about somebody else, because the same person you're talking about, you're gonna talk about them. You're gonna talk about me to them. So I don't wanna do that. So yeah, those are things that I wish I would have learned in my 30s as well. Not to get to intertwine in other people's mess. So now what matters to me now is my peace, family, legacy, living on purpose. Those are the things that matter to me. So I take pride in all of that. And another thing is, a lesson is that you don't have to wait for a certain age to shift your perspective. You don't. You absolutely don't. I told you, man, my whole life changed when I was in my late 30s. My whole life changed. Some people get divorced when they are in their 60s. I've had a young lady on this podcast. She got divorced when she was in her 60s, or got remarried in her 60s, maybe divorced in her late 50s. So there is no age on changing your mindset and changing your perspective. You absolutely can. So I want to leave you with this. Looking back, I wouldn't change my journey at all. I say that I would, but honestly, that has made me who I am, because everything I went through brought me here. But if I could tell my 30-year-old self one thing, it would be this: stop playing small. Man. Ooh, child, let me let that soak in. If I can tell my 30-some-year-old self, I would say stop playing small. I am so smart. I haven't given myself credit for being smart, for being I call myself a genius. And the reason I say that, because there are so many gifts and talents in me that I didn't even utilize in my 30s, because I didn't finish college. High school was a struggle for me because I hated school. I absolutely hated it. And so I always kind of played myself small. When it came to other people around me, maybe, they were quick with math, quick with English, they can pass anything. That wasn't me. That wasn't my ministry. But I learned now in my 50s, like, Courtney, you are so freaking talented. You're that girl. So those are the things that I have to embrace and hype myself up, because not everybody is like, when it comes to schooling and stuff like that. That's not my thing. But you put some technology in front of me. You allow me to have a platform and a microphone. I'm going to speak. Those are the things that God has placed in me to do. I always got in trouble when it came to school. I always got low grades, a D, a F, or some poor conduct. Yeah. But you see what I'm doing now? I'm speaking. God has used my voice. I am speaking on a podcast. We have our own YouTube channel. I'm still speaking. I'm commentating. People like to hear what I have to say when I always thought that nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. And I shut my mouth, child. So I also had to learn to trust myself, trust God, and know that the best is still ahead of me. Wow. Those are the things I would have told myself. So whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or beyond, I hope today gave you something to actually think about. If it did, please share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the very next episode. Please don't. Make sure that you give us a review, like it, share it, all the things. And always thank you so much for rocking with us. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with someone who needs it, and connect with us over at the New Era Podcast. Until next time, keep growing, keep loving, and keep stepping into your next era. Bye.